Hello you guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Carmen Bryant, and this is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you guys so much, especially to my new subscribers. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for finding something relevant that I have to say that's going to help you in your situation. And thank you so much. Make sure you hit the bell so you know whenever I upload new videos. And I'm also on Facebook. And do keep in mind, we do have some rules on YouTube. I don't know if everybody does have rules on YouTube. Do not disrespect the other person. Don't go tell them where they're wrong and where they're right. You know, don't go off on people. And I do want to make sure that I say this to Mr. I think it's V. Diddy. I really respect you a lot because I don't know why, but you have drawn out some people that have really attacked you. And there's nothing that you said that was wrong, but I thank you so much because you're just really cool and mellow at how you respond to them. And so I've been taking care of them. I do see what's being said, so I've been trying to take care of it. I make sure that I protect you guys on this YouTube channel, and some of the things that people are saying are just really harsh and really mean and very opinionated and controlling. And so I do try to monitor that, but I really want to say it publicly. Mr. V. Diddy, you have really have shown some self-control, because I know there's a lot of things that you could have said as some of the ignorant comments that were made towards you. And so hopefully you are still with me and have not been discouraged of following and listening to the videos, but I've been trying to take care of you. Thank you so much for the way that you responded to them and that made sure that you stuck to your guns and you believe what you believe and you didn't let anybody change your opinion about what your opinions are. So you guys be respectful. I do monitor that. I make sure that you guys are not attacking each other or people are attacking you or people that look suspect. You know, I don't care about numbers. I'll get rid of you. If it means talking to two people, I'll make the videos and talk to two people. So I try to make sure that I protect you guys as well by looking to see what people are saying back to you and responding back to you. So please be respectful and especially be respectful toward me. If you want to be argumentative, if you want to hurl out insults, if you want to say negative, nasty things, then you shall not be following me on this channel. I could care less where you go, but you won't be following me on the channel if you disrespect me, out of all people. And I'm not saying that I'm always right, because people have their own opinions and we have to agree to disagree, like some of the viewers said. I don't have a problem with that. If you want to make corrections, or I am not a tech junkie. I am not a techie. Some of you guys are techies. I just make the videos, I give the information out. So if you guys want to make corrections or you want to give me constructive criticism on a public forum, is not a place to do it, because you want to be seen. You want to make sure you look smarter and you look more whatever. You know, email me and give me the suggestions. I'm an old soldier, and so you give me some constructive criticism to help me make it better, I will take your advice. I really will. But if you do it on a public forum, and you do it where you're trying to make sure that everybody sees that you attack the host, then I will help you out and I will do exactly what it is that you're wanting me to do, block you. And so please be respectful and mindful when you come on these videos of the people that are on here. There are so many of you that are so hurt and so broken, and you just don't have the time. You've been fighting all your life. Go watch Color Purple. You've been fighting all your life. And so I don't want you to have to come on YouTube and fight all your life again. You know, I'll try to make sure I do the best I can to protect you guys. But you guys have been, you know, a lot of you are hurt. A lot of you are trying to find solution and answers to how to get out of your situation. Some of you guys are in the healing process, fresh discard. And so it's not right for you to come on a channel like this to try to get information, to try to heal, and then you have people just saying crazy things to you and you're having to fight all over again. I want you guys to relax. If you feel offended, just know that I do take my time. I do have a moderator that's on here, Miss TMG. She's off the chain. And she'll hook you up too. Yeah, she'll hook you up too. But I do have a moderator that helps me and assists me go through some of the comments, and we make sure that you guys are protected and safeguarded. So you guys make sure you give a high five to TMG, because she also monitors, you know, to make sure you guys are safeguarded. So I got a guard out there watching on you guys' behalf. And so today I wanted to come in briefly, and I wanted to talk about some strategy for recovery. And so in strategies of recovery, you have to remember that it is about looking within, which a narcissist can't do. So it's within, looking within to see, you know, how did you get into situations like this? What has drawn you into relationships like this? Somehow or another, you've been drawn into these relationships and they have tricked you. You know, this is not a choice that you made with good information or with truthful information. You were tricked into the relationship, and now the question becomes is, let's look at family history. And so from a clinical perspective, you know, I'm gonna give you guys some suggestions on what to do. First of all, do know that Don't ever let someone tell you how you should and should not feel. Your feelings are real, your experiences are real, your hurt and pain is real. All of us, it doesn't matter what your sexual preference is, it does not matter what your religion is, it does not matter what your culture, your socioeconomic status is. The one thing that majority of us can get on this YouTube channel and say is that most of us, I'm not gonna say all of us, but most of us have been through narcissist abuse. And you can relate to each other because you understand the pain that you've been through. But all of us have had, even though the narcissist has the same MO and they do the same thing and it looks like they're reading from the same playbook, a lot of us come from different walks of life, had different experiences, and so it has affected each one of you differently. Never let anybody, post-traumatic stress, a lot of you are dealing with post-traumatic stress and complex post-traumatic stress. And I hear a lot of people say that, you have to have gone to war in order to have PTSD. Well, that's about the dumbest thing a person can say. Check their credibility and block them. And if you're standing in front of them, block them. Close your eyes and block them. That's how we do it. Block them. Close your eyes and block them. And walk off. Block. So, but that is not true. Think about it. You're probably in a war zone in your family. You're in a war zone in the family of origin. You're in a war zone right now having to deal. So you're constantly in a war zone. Verbal abuse, emotional abuse, you've been abused. You're in a war zone, so you have been affected emotionally. You have been affected mentally, emotionally, psychologically. What psychologically deals with the emotions and behavior. But you have been affected. You have been wounded, terribly wounded. Some of you have been wounded from childhood. That's why a lot of people that think they're empaths are not actually empaths. Some of them actually have borderline personality disorder, which looks empathetic or over empathetic, but is not. With borderline personality disorder, it stems from trauma. And someone made the comment on here that says that it's funny because a lot of empaths have had similar backgrounds to the narcissist, but they didn't end up being narcissists. That is true. A lot of empaths and narcissists and those with borderline personality disorder or other psychopath, sociopath, antisocial personality disorder, a lot of them have come from backgrounds of severe abuse, mental rejection, emotional abuse, neglect. They do come from a history or a background of abuse, but depending on genetics, environment, family of origin, even your resilience, and your structure, your makeup, how you've been trained and how you've been, or how you have helped your own self or other people have helped you, the support systems that you have, even growing up, has also been a factor in what and how your personality developed. Or some people just have major depressive disorder. Some people never develop post-traumatic stress or complex post-traumatic stress. Some people never develop personality disorders, and some people do. Some people, such as the narcissist, branched off and developed, they developed at a young age, narcissistic personality disorder, where the trauma and their minds could not handle the trauma, and it was so severe that they shut off, and it's not something that they consciously done, but they've shut off all emotions and trauma related to the emotions, love, those type of feelings are too dangerous for them, because somehow or another they were abused by those that were supposed to give them love, and they did not receive it. Others have had rejection and abandonment issues and developed borderline personality disorder. These people are very extreme when it comes to latching on or perceived rejection and abandonment, and they also may present themselves as lack of empathy because they go back and forth, back and forth. Well, a narcissist can't go back and forth. They don't have any empathy or compassion. And so, even looking into your own, that's why I suggest making sure that you get to a good counselor. And so some of the strategies, and this is for those of you that are thinking about writing books, this is, and I'm giving you some ideas, thinking about writing books, even thinking of how to recover, and addressing men and women at the same time. So first, allow me to say this, in the dating phase, the red flags, hopefully you've been learning something from these videos and other videos, even in the dating, the red flags. So first, let me talk to the kings, men, my brothers from other mothers. Check this out. when you are dating a young lady, now I'm not saying those that are in a marriage and those that have children, because some of those rules are different, like the young lady said on here, that going no contact with the person that she co-parents or counter-parents with is not that easy. That is true. It's not that easy to go no contact with a parent of your child, because there has to be some type of communication, but it can be very, very, very limited, okay? But those of you that are in the dating, or you're looking for the red flags while you're dating kings, my brothers from another mother and father, when a woman disrespects you, or you never tolerate disrespect or dishonor. You never allow a woman to control you or to tell you, some of you guys think it's cute. That is not cute, because if you give us an inch, we'll take a mile. How a woman is created. You give us an inch, we're gonna take a mile. That's just how we are created as women. If you open a door, we're gonna put our whole body through the door if you let us do it. You have to learn to make sure that you maintain boundaries. I'm not saying abuse. I'm not saying don't include her in major decisions. I'm not saying not value her. She's more than just a big butt and a pretty smile, okay? And like LL Cool J used to say, she's not just standing at the bus stop sucking on a lollipop with bamboo earrings in both of her ears. See, I'm old school. But that's not all she is. She's just not a pretty face and a body, and it shouldn't be just a matter of what's between her legs. It should be what's in her head. Because once you've gotten your, and I'm not being ugly, but once you got your 15 minutes of pleasure, what is left? You look at her and she doesn't even have a conversation. She can't even stimulate your mind. She doesn't even have a conversation. She doesn't know where the door is, much less how to flush a toilet. And I'm just being funny, but you have to, she's more than just a body and a pretty face. She's got to be able to stimulate your mind long term. But if she's disrespectful and she's dishonorable, she's a loud mouth, that is not cute. If she already shows signs of trying to boss you around or bully you, or she always has something to say, she's over opinionated, and you're like, I just like that she's just free and she's strong. That's not strong. That's a weak woman that doesn't know when to shut her mouth and not talk too much. Some of these women are bitter. Some of them are angry, and what ends up happening is you end up paying the price for every man that has ever hurt her. You end up paying the price of an absent father or an abusive father or angry father. And so, gentlemen, men, brothers, kings, I need you guys to be very, very aware of that. It's better to say deuces, and leave before you get into a strong emotional tie with this individual, because if that is what they're showing you while they're dating, it's going to get worse. Because you are training her how she can treat you or how you should be treated. And some of it is very disrespectful. And some of you now are learning, like, I saw those signs there and I wish I would have listened to my intuition. Now ladies, my queens, my sisters from a different mister, listen, Linda, listen. First of all, stop being so desperate. Get you an education. Get you your own stuff. You shouldn't look at a man as a bank account. You shouldn't look at a man as, and men, you got to make sure you hold up your boundaries. You give her some standards to follow. You hold her accountable. You got something, but she has nothing. What is she bringing to the table? It's like a business deal. What is she bringing to the table? Ladies, you got to bring something to the table. This is not back in the 1800s and the 1920s and 30s and 40s and the 60s where, you would just, and some of you, that's what you and your boo have decided to do, then that's what you just do. But this is 2019, honey. We got jobs, we got educations, we got more degrees than a thermometer, baby. We can buy our own house. And just like my mentor said, you want a house with a white picket fence, baby, we can build the fence. Matter of fact, I can change the engine, I can change the tires, I can put you got to rely on your own strength. Some of you guys are single parents, baby. You can make it happen. Not only can you go and get the bread and get the pig and make the bacon, baby, we can do some things. Men, you got to recognize the strength in women sometimes. That's an asset for you. That will help you out. Ladies, stop trying to be, stop playing so weak. You are not weak women. And a lot of you have gotten into the relationship with these narcissists. That's where they wanted you to be. They wanted you to be this weak, dumb woman. You just need to be barefoot and pregnant, and you need to take care of home. Some of that was control tactics. Now, I'm not saying if that's what you and your boo decides to do, and that's an agreement that you and your man, or you and your woman, or you and whoever, if that's an agreement that you guys have, then cool. That should be a mutual understanding and mutual agreement between the both of you. Always have a backup plan though, until you get to know the character of that person. Ladies, quit trying to boss that man around. You are not his mama. You are supposed to be his woman. You are supposed, or her or him or whatever, you guys are partners. You guys are partners fighting against evil together. Superman and Superwoman, Batman and Batgirl, you guys should be a team, You guys should be a team. You should help, behind every great man is a great woman, baby. Think about what the president, former First Lady Obama and her husband, that was a strong woman. That woman had a law degree too. Very intelligent woman. And she said it, she's a strong woman. And she encourages that man. When a man has a strong woman in their court, the sky is the limit. That man will go any place. When that woman has a strong man in her court that make her feel relevant and she can do anything, that girl can be as ugly. She can look like Fiona off of Shrek. But when that man tells her, I don't care what nobody says, baby, you are sexy. You look like Beyonce, honey. You be a ugly Beyonce, Fiona looking self. And we're going to respect that man for making you feel that confident, okay? We're going to respect him. We're going to put some respect on his name because he knows how to make you feel good about yourself. But you can't depend on other people to make you feel good about yourself. You got to have some sense of feel good inside of you. You got to have some sense of confidence. And sometimes that takes time. You have to heal from this tragic accident that you've gotten into. And sometimes you have long history of things that have happened within your family and how you've been raised and have been brought up to think about yourself. Some of you guys were strong, but people were tearing you down in your family. Some of you guys share your stories. Some of you guys are sharing your stories at the type of families that you guys came from. Okay, so now the next step, what I'm going to tell you is this is what I recommend. This is what I suggest. I suggest you guys go, if you got a Michael's or if you're out of country, I'm not sure what kind of stores they have, go buy you this big butcher board. Don't get this little piece of paper because you might have some real drama in your family. And in the mental health arena, we call it genograms, or really what they are family trees. So what I want you guys to do is, and if you're adopted, I understand, there may not be a lot of family history. Some of you guys don't even talk to your family. But what I want you to do, this is your homework assignment and help you in your process of recovery, okay? I want you to go get a big butcher board or one of those folding boards or this big thing, and this could be a family project, I'm not saying with a narcissist, because you don't know, that narcissist is a lie and you'll end up being related to a Martian. So I would not depend on no narcissist to tell you nothing, but go get you this big butcher board. And what I want you to do is start drawing your family tree. I want you to draw your family tree. Draw yourself. And well, you can't draw yourself. Now, if you guys are artists and you actually draw yourself, there's you have a stick figure or put a box. Make yourself, so the females, you can do like a circle, and for the males, you can do like a square or whatever way you want to do it. It doesn't matter, And so under that, you put your children, and put them in a little circle, fat head circles. I'm just joking, y'all. Put little fat head kids under there, okay? But no, put the little circles for the girls and put the little squares for the boys. And then, you put your kids, and if you have grandkids, you put your little grandkids under there. So if you got, the male and female, put them together, or however your family is structured, you put that, on the butcher board, or this big, board that you have. And so what I want you to start doing is, so put yourself and maybe who you procreated with, if you're not married, or who you married with, or whatever, who you procreated with, because what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to start looking at some genetics. We're going to look at some family history and behavior and how people cope with stress. Who committed suicide? Who has severe depression? Who had mental health disorders? Who was a prostitute? Who was an alcoholic? Who was a drug addict? What so-and-so said. But the first thing I want you guys to focus on is just drawing the family tree. And then, you put who, you put yourself, and then put, for one person, then you put, that's why I say you have to get a big board so that you have a lot of space to work with. Use a pencil with an eraser, and then you put your family, mother and father, and then, or stepdad, or whatever, whoever they procreated with, and then whoever they're with. And so do this, and and all your siblings, you put yourself down, and then all your siblings, and then next to you, you put who you procreated with, or who you're with, or whether you adopted or whatever, and you keep going up the board, and then their parents, and each person's parents, and keep doing this board. Go, and to give you guys an example of what it looks like, go on Google and Google genograms. It's genograms, Genograms. Grams. It's from the Bowen theories, but just look at example, and you don't have to follow it all the way, but just look at like some of the emblems that they use. Like if you had a baby and the baby died, or if you had an abortion, then you put an X through, however you want to do it, a cross. You put a cross through the child that you made. And my deepest condolences to you that have lost children. My deepest condolences, and family members. But you put like a little cross between them just to indicate, if it was a baby, or if it was a stillborn, or you had an abortion or a miscarriage, make it real small, and then put like a cross in between it, or however you want to do it. But then, so you draw this, okay? Then what you start doing is under your name, and you don't have to just focus just on you. If you can't think of enough for you, move to somebody else. Move to one of your kids. Move to one of your parents. So this will probably be like a week-long project. We'll readdress it next week, because I want to see some of your comments, like throughout the time that you guys are doing it. And then I want you to put like, domestic violence. Some people have had their family members murdered because of domestic violence. Look and see who in the family was a narcissist. Look and see who was domestic violence, who's been sexually abused, who's been adopted, who was put into foster care, who any kind of trauma, any kind of behavior patterns that you see, depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, put down. And what I want you guys to start looking at, even in your own children and grandchildren, start looking at patterns. I also want you guys to put in there like some of the things that may have been taught to you. What were some of the things that was taught to you by your mother, by your grandmother, by your great-grandma? Some of the things that were taught to you. What did they tell you about relationships? What did they tell you about being a woman or a man? What did they tell you about what is right and what is wrong? And then sometimes they didn't tell you, what did they show you? Some of you have never seen good relationships. And so, look and see at what the relationships look like. Whether there was an absentee parent, or whether there was, or the mother decided to be alone, or the father decided to be alone. Look and see at the type of relationships, domestic violence, alcoholism, all these side chicks or side dudes, never had a good, I want you guys to start looking at patterns. When you begin to look at patterns, that gives you an opportunity to break patterns. To break patterns is not always easy. Some people had eating disorders. So if you have like obesity in your family, what were some of the coping skills used for stress? Some of it was, a loss of control with food. Not every obese person, family members who had like eating disorder, not all of them ended up being obese. Some of them ended up being on the other end of the spectrum, which is like skinny or anorexic. And so I want you guys to start looking at patterns. Look at patterns in your family. Look at your family history. Some of you guys are gonna be like, my whole family was a hot mess. I just threw the paper out while I was driving. No, I really want you guys to look at patterns, family history, coping skills, because that'll give you an idea at certain things, because you can't work on everything at one time, but that'll give you an opportunity to work on certain things. Those of you that had to be seen, a woman always has to be sexy, a woman always has to look like this. Some people that struggle with aging, that's got to have, I don't have a problem with nip and tucking. I don't have a problem with people getting a little facelift here and a nip and tuck here and everything, but to the extreme where you're trying to change the way you look, today you look like, a Peruvian princess, a Bohemian princess, and next week you look like you look like a Eskimo, and you look totally different. I can't even think of a joke right now, you guys. I'm sorry. So 1 minute you look like a Peruvian or Egyptian princess, and after you get your surgery, you look like Shrek. There we go. So you have gone so far that you really messed yourself up. Some of that, there is a diagnosis for that. There's a diagnosis for that. But look and see, why are you getting into relationships? What was told to you about relationships? You got to have a man. You got to be with a woman. You got to have a husband. You got to have a wife. Who told you that? Who said that you had to have someone? Some of you, I'm just lonely. You don't like yourself? I'm never lonely. I'm never lonely. Now, true enough, I do have a child at home, but during the summertime, my child goes to visit her parent, her other parent. But at the same time, I'm never lonely. I'm never lonely. I started to like me. You know, and when I begin to discover me, and I like my peace and quiet, and I talk to people all day long. That's a part of my profession. So I just like me, you know, and I like my quiet. I like my peace and quiet. I like going by myself. I like eating by myself. I like going to the movies by myself. I kind of like hanging out with me by myself. I have a tribe. You know, I have a tribe that I go and be with, and they're comedians just like I am. You know, some of them are funnier than I am, and we get good laughs. You know, you got good people, different type of people, professional people, smart women, smart men that I'm around. You know, and then when we're done with each other, and all of them are pretty healthy, you know, when we're done with each other, we go home. Girl, bye. You know, boy, bye. See you later, you know, and go home. You don't even like yourself. And so when you are desperate to be in a relationship because you are lonely or you want sex, that's the wrong reason to get into a relationship. But now look at the patterns in your family. Was mama the type of woman that never, you know, you had Uncle Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike coming through your house? You don't even know who these people are. You got an uncle every week, a new uncle every week. You with daddy, you got a new auntie every week, you know, or whatever your choice is. You know, every week you got a new uncle or aunt coming through your house. You know, who is this? You know, this is your new stepmama. This is your new stepdaddy. Really? You know, this is Uncle so-and-so, Auntie so-and-so. You guys be careful with that because some of them are predators and they prey on your kids. But that's what I want you guys to start looking at, okay? So I want you guys to go and I want you to look at your family history. Where did you guys get some of these thought patterns? Where did you guys get some of these behavior patterns? Who told you that? Who told you were ugly? Who told you? Because it was long before the narcissist came into your life. Some of you had narcissistic parents. Some of you guys just had abusive parents that set you up to be in the hands of a narcissistic predator. Okay? And so I just want you guys to look at that. Let me think. Was there anything that I wanted to say? There was something else I wanted to say. Now watch me think of it like when I turn the camera off. But that's why I want you to look at family patterns. I want you to look at family histories. I want you to look at, you know, coping skills. How did people handle stress? You know, how did people deal with relationships? You know, what kind of and you'll find patterns in yourself that you'll be shocked too. Like, oh my gosh, I've turned into my grandmother, or I turned into my mother. You know, I turned into my father, you know. And so I just wanted to leave you guys with that. That would be my lesson for today. So that's my lesson for today. I hope this was a word of encouragement for you guys. Hopefully you smiled. You got a smile for the day. You got you a good laugh. For those that are Shrek fans, you know, I hope you got a good laugh out of that. So hopefully you guys are smiling. I know some of you guys are smiling, so that's good. And so I just wanted you to use that. That is one of the steps to helping you in your recovery process, and some words of encouragement that you are better and you are not your past. You are not from where you come from. You are better than that. And whatever that narcissist told you is not true. Everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. Even if it's a part of the truth, it's still a lie. It's still not the truth. So hopefully this has helped you guys. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Hit the bell. Make sure you stay tuned whenever I upload new videos. I am on Facebook under Psychological Health Consultants and Services. I do come on live on Sundays between 8 and 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is West Coast time. And so come join me so that we can talk, we can chit chat, give you an opportunity to open the floor, and it's not scripted, so you guys can ask me questions, whatever questions you want to ask. Now I do want to, guys, just put you on alert that it's nothing bad, on May, hold on, let me look. So on May 5th, which is in another, I think 2 weeks, on that Sunday, there's a possibility I may not be able to come on live. I do have to go out of town. I'll try. I'll be on a retreat, and so it's an educational retreat, ministry retreat. So I'll be at a retreat, and there is no service out there. No, Sunday I won't be out there. I'll be coming back, but I'll be traveling. So there's a possibility that I may not be able to come on live for question and answers. What I may do, I may just post a video just really quick, just to give you guys greetings, to start you guys out before, because I know I will not be on Sunday. I will not be at home to be able to record. I will be out of town again, out of town, and so I may not be able to come on live, and so I may just post a video just to check on you guys, or I may just come on about 5 minutes, you know, before I transition as I'm driving, not as I'm driving, no texting, driving. But, you know, as I get in the car to get ready to go, I'll probably come on live just really quick, just to speak to you guys, say hello, but I won't be able to record. I won't be able to come on live on the 5th of May, okay? So you guys just stay tuned. I'll make sure I leave a little message there for you guys. I always do. And so hopefully you guys have a wonderful week. Hopefully you guys got a good smile today. Hopefully this is something that starts you off. And for those of you, I knew there was something else I wanted to say. For those of you that are wanting to write a book and you just don't know where to start, you know, this right here will be the start, you know, to, I want you guys to journal. Journal your experience. Journal how you feel. Don't write a book while you're angry. You know, and a lot of you journal, but don't write a book in anger, because in anger, you're going to hurt more people than you're going to help. You have to write the book from the point of healing, because your healing will bring healing to other people. Your healing brings healing to other people. They need to know, how did you make it through? How did you heal? How did you make it in this process? That's what they're looking for. They're looking for answers. So don't write the book while you're angry, because you're not helping them get out their situation. And they'll put the book down because you're causing more injuries than you're causing, you know, help. You got to be able to talk to people and write a book from the point of view. You're validating what they have been through. You're validating, you know, their experiences and their hurt and pain. You're bringing them answers. You're giving them an opportunity to think and come up with solutions. So don't write a book while you're angry. You know, journal. So while you guys are doing this family tree or this genogram, you know, make sure that you journal. Write down how you're feeling. Write down what you're seeing, because that could be a book. Your journal will be a book. So hopefully this has helped you guys. And as my friend always says, go and be great.